My name is Christy, and this is Angel Talk, where the archangels are real, relevant, and accessible to everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk. Hello, everybody. I hope that you all are having a wonderful weekend. My name is Christy Michelle Riggs, and this is Angel Talk. If you are here with me for the first time, I want to welcome you. I really appreciate you being here. I'm glad you found me. If you've been hanging out with me for a little bit now, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're enjoying the messages and that you're back with me again. The angel awareness for the week of today, the 26th, through August 1st, is also available. So if you haven't listened to that yet, be sure to check that out. We can wrap up the month of July working with Archangel Metatron. I'm sure it will not be the last time we work with him as we move into these levels of higher and expanded consciousness. But he has really been guiding us through the entire month of July. So be sure you check that out. And then sometime within this next week, there will also be the teaching and message for the month of August. And then we'll have the angel awareness for the first week of August. And then on August the 3rd, we have the full moon. I wanted to say new moon, but it's a full moon in the sign of Aquarius. And so there will be a message for that as well. So lots of good stuff coming up just here within the next couple of days. So be sure that you check those out as they're uploaded and available to you. I'm very excited for what we're talking about today. I get really excited whenever the Lionsgate portal comes around because it means that it's my birthday. I may not be as reformed of a Leo as I thought that I was, but I get really excited for my birthday. And I the older I've gotten, I don't think for the last 5 or 6 years I've really done anything, all that particularly special for my birthday. But I just get excited for the fact that it's my birthday. So my birthday's on the 10th, and it falls right within really some of the more intense peak times of the Lionsgate portal. So I'm really excited I'm excited that it's my birthday, or that my birthday's coming up. But I'm also excited to talk to you about this portal because it's a really important portal, and particularly for this year of 2020, it is extremely important, and is going to be offering us an even more ramped up amount of energy that's available to us, the light codes that are going to be coming in to just aid all of this along that we're doing, and that we're moving toward the breaking away from the old, building of the new. Everything that we've been talking about, this Lionsgate portal is really significant to all of that. Okay, so if you don't know what the Lionsgate portal is, it was called the Lionsgate because it occurs while the sun is in Leo, the sign of Leo. And it is when the constellation of Orion is directly above the pyramids in Egypt on the Giza Plateau. Now, the ancient civilizations, when it was called the land of Chem, Egypt used to be called the land of Chem. That's where we get the word chemistry from. They knew the significance of the planetary bodies, the astrology, the astronomy, the spiritual significance to all of that, and these portals. They're very, very tuned in to these portals, so much so that it's believed that that is the reason that these pyramids were built in the first place. to connect with the cosmos, and particularly at the Lionsgate portal. Now, what is significant about the constellation of Orion is that is where we find the star Sirius. And that is the star that is known as our spiritual sun. Now, the portal opens today, the 26th of July. It's the Galactic New Year's Day. And it will run through the 12th of August. And it will peak on August 8th, because that's when we have the 8-8 portal. Now, just as an aside, it's important to understand that we have several portals that are kind of overlapping one another. And they're not really so much overlapping as they are like superimposed upon one another. So we have this 8-8 portal that's within the Lionsgate portal. There's some other portals that have been going on with the eclipse season. And how it has been shown to me is that these portals are, because we have the law of as above, so below. So everything in the cosmos and everything in the universe follows a pattern, and we can usually, if not all the time, take a concept that we understand about one thing and apply it to another thing, because it'll work the same way. And so what I have been shown about how these portals are superimposed upon one another is the same way that the dimensional planes and the dimensions of consciousness are superimposed upon one another. We like to think of things, here on Earth in very linear terms, and that it's we've been very misguided in that way, because things do not occur in a linear fashion, metaphysically, or as the way that the cosmos works. So we like to think of dimensions of consciousness as we ascend, as we awaken, and we move up and elevate in consciousness. We like to think of that almost as being like an elevator, and we're on a building, and it goes up, dimensionally. And that's how I had viewed it for the longest time. And then I was shown that how it works is like it's a spiral, and it's like a conch shell, or like a nautilus shell, if you can think of it like that. And these dimensions are spiraled, one on top of the other, one within the other, and they sit kind of spiraled together, superimposed upon one another in that way. It's kind of like, I'll give you it's a very easy way to understand it. It's kind of funny. Before I stopped eating so much meat and dairy, I used to love to go to the grocery store and get fresh prosciutto and slices of cheese. And if you can imagine, you have like your slices of meat and then your slices of cheese, and you lay one within the other, and you roll it up and almost make like a stick with it, but you roll them all together, and they're not perfectly even in there together, and they're all kind of, as you spiral them, 2 or 3 times to roll them up and make your little snack roll, then the different layers of meat and cheese kind of become superimposed upon one another. And I know that's kind of an odd way to describe something that we're talking about with the cosmos or metaphysically, but I like to give you guys examples that we can all relate to in our daily life, because some of this stuff is it's kind of hard to get your mind around, but they're very simple concepts. So if I can give you an example that's very easy for you to understand, then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. Then I like to be able to do that. So that's how these portals work also, is that they will kind of lay one superimposed upon one another. And what that means is that we have a lot of opportunities to take these quantum jumps to new timelines. And while that sounds like a very, kind of space age, kind of out there concept, it's really not. All that it requires is a shift in our perspective, a shift in our vibration, and we can get there in a variety of different ways. I have this, and I'm going to try to find it and post it for you guys at some point this week. But I have a beautiful diagram of the flower of life, and within it shows all of the different our basic human emotions, and it shows how you can use how all of these little circles are connected within one another to make the flower of life, how they're all kind of hooked together. And it shows how each point along this diagram is labeled with a different emotion, like some of our basic emotions. And it shows how you can get from one emotion to another in a variety of different ways. So let me give you an example. Like, say you're stuck in fear. And you think, how can I get to bliss from fear? Or you're stuck in frustration or anger, and you think, how can I get to unconditional love and compassion from here? This diagram will show you that it doesn't have to. It's not a one-way street. It doesn't because we don't work that way. It's oftentimes very hard, very challenging to get from some of those lower level emotions to some of the higher level or the higher vibrating emotions. And then what we end up doing is kind of beating ourselves up over not being able to just snap our fingers and just vibrate high and just be in these, these higher level feelings and higher vibrating emotions. And what I love about this diagram is that it shows you that there are many different pathways to get there. And you think, well, I can't, I'm having a really hard time getting from anger to compassion. And so it shows you how, well, can you take a quantum jump from anger to frustration? And then can you go from frustration to, many other different things. And there's many different pathways that you can use. And it really is a good visual and a good reminder for me that we can take these quantum jumps little by little if we need to. Now, sometimes we're pushed to just go and take a jump and take a big jump. And that's part of it too. But I think that this diagram that I'm talking to you about is very helpful in understanding the way that we can work with our emotions to get to where we desire to be. And and to take these quantum jumps. And when you change, like we've talked about so many times, when you change your perspective and you change the way you feel about something, then you change your belief about it, and you've created a new reality. And what you've done is jump to a different timeline. Because when we jump to a different reality, we create a different reality. We're in a different timeline, and then the old timeline has collapsed. It no longer exists. So that is what this Lionsgate portal is all about, is to end and collapse timelines and to create new timelines, because this is a galactic new year. And so we have the opportunity, it was considered a very sacred time of the year to the ancient Egyptians and many of the ancient cultures, because it is the moment when we have an opportunity and a new cycle of time creation begins. And so we have an incredible amount of influx of energies, light codes, our DNA being able to be upgraded, all of that. And these, we had a very special eclipse season where we had the triple eclipse gateway, and all of that energy is still affecting us. It didn't stop with the last eclipse. It's still here, and available for us to work with, and it's still affecting us. And so the intensity of that triple eclipse gateway is, like I said, superimposed with this Lionsgate portal. And so it's all creating this ramping up of energy. Now, during the Lionsgate, I'll tell you, I don't know if it's because my birthday falls within the Lionsgate, or if it's because I get so excited about it that I'm in a higher vibration, just naturally. I'm sure it's a combination of all those things. But I have found that during the Lionsgate portal, while yes, it is intense, if you can get excited about it, if you can, feel like you're working with it, and you're jumping on board with the flow of it, and you're desiring and excited about these energies to come in because of the change that it can create, and the new things that you can create, and the things that you can release that you have that are not. I don't like the phrase "no longer serving you." For some reason that just, and I know I've said that before, but I'd like to find a new way of talking about that. That are maybe no longer for our highest and greatest good, no longer benefiting us, or just stuff that it's not doing us any good to hang on to this stuff. It's just weighing us down. And so this is really, really an opportunity where we can connect with higher dimensional frequencies. We can, a lot of people start to have, very interesting experiences at communication with other beings. A lot of people report having a lot of like psychic experiences, a lot of like very metaphysical experiences during like meditations and time of focus during this portal, when they get really tuned into it and are desiring that. So there's so much available to us right now. So much energy, so many light codes. This is a time where our DNA can really upgrade fast. And, this awakening has really ramped up and is moving pretty fast as it is. So it's really important that we focus and make a conscious and deliberate decision to get in the flow of and get with these energies, so that we don't feel attacked or bombarded by them, because that's not what they're doing. They are, if we can look at it like they are a gift to us, that they are available to us, that they are there to assist us with, expanding our consciousness and evolving our spirit and changing our perspectives, and really give us a new way of being, because it is an opportunity where we can collapse old timelines and create brand new. We can see things from a very new perspective and create a very new reality that is more in alignment with the fifth dimensional and higher planes of existence and consciousness. So, and also I just wanted to mention, I think it's very interesting. I found this out recently. I think it's very interesting that the Lion's Gate is also the name of one of the gates, one of the 7 gates that goes into the ancient city of Jerusalem. And the Lion's Gate is the gate, it is reported or historically documented where Jesus started his walk to the crucifixion. And I just think that's interesting that that particular gate has that same name. Now, a lot of people get kind of nervous when you start talking about Jesus in the spiritual community, and I don't want y'all to be afraid. Just as an aside, I'll just touch on this for a second. I don't want y'all to ever be afraid to have a relationship with Jesus. I understand that there are a lot of people who have been very shamed and had very unfortunately bad experiences with religious dogma. And so what Jesus represents to them is just it represents a lot of pain and a lot of shaming and a lot of fear, a lot of not good things. I was very, very, very fortunate and sometimes I don't realize just how unique of an experience that I had with Jesus when I was younger. That even though I went to church and had a fairly traditional Christian background, my relationship with Jesus was very different. We'll talk more about it another time, but I have always had a very special and unique relationship with Jesus, where it was the opposite for me. It was never about shaming. It was never about pain or fear. It was something that I always felt incredibly cared for and incredibly loved. And there were often times even when I would kind of look around and think, did you all read the same book that I did? Because when I read the gospel, this is what I took from it. I found a Jesus that was, oh my Lord, so loving and so kind and so compassionate and so forgiving and so full of light and hope, and just broke so many barriers and so many social constructs, and there was just so much about his teaching that was all the ways that I wanted to be, non-judgmental, kind, compassionate to others. And so, like I said, we'll talk more about my Jesus experiences another time, but Um, uh, I hope that if you've had a bad relationship with Jesus, or if that's left a bad taste in your mouth, I hope that if there's one of the things that I feel called to do, it's to help people to understand that that's not the real Jesus that many of you have been introduced to, and that he, it's about the Christ consciousness. It's about the consciousness that he anchored on this planet. It's not about dogma or needing a savior or any kind of condemnation. It's not anything about that whatsoever. It's about the consciousness, the higher consciousness, and the love and the compassion that he anchored on this planet. So I realize we kind of got a little bit off topic there, but at any rate, we have this opportunity with this Lionsgate to really open up and receive this upgrade, a massive upgrade to our DNA. We have the opportunity to collapse old timelines and create new ones. And the angels have very important messages for us today to navigate the Lionsgate, to help align our focus with what will help us for our highest and greatest good, and to just really encourage us during this time. If there's one thing that a relationship, with or working with the angels will consistently give you, is encouragement, and upliftment, and just a different understanding. They help you to see from a different perspective. And so we're going to be working with the Wisdom of the Archangels card deck, and I love this card deck. I've talked to y'all about it once or twice before. A young lady named Brittany Caitlin designed this card deck, and it is gorgeous. It's so unique. She's also an artist, and she channels the archangels, and she has created abstract watercolor paintings and that's what the picture on the cards are, rather than traditional artwork. She's done her own abstract watercolor paintings to evoke the energy of the different archangels. And abstract watercolor is one of my favorite ways to paint. That's what when I do my own paintings and create my own artwork, most of it is abstract, and I love to work with watercolors. So these were very special to me when I found them, and they're just absolutely, the energy of them is absolutely incredible. And I had an opportunity to chat with her just a little bit she sells these on Etsy, and I had an opportunity just to thank her for creating such a beautiful deck, and she seems like just a lovely, lovely young lady. So I'm excited to use these, and we're using these because the picture on the front is a painting that she has done of the most magnificent lion that you've ever seen. And I will put a link in the description box to her Etsy shop, so that you guys can take a look at these and some of her other artwork, because she's just phenomenal at what she does. She's very talented. And she really, you can tell through the energy of these cards how connected that she is to the angelic realm. So we have some really beautiful messages that have come through for us to work with this Lionsgate energy. Okay, so the first card that we have is from Archangel Raphael, and it says, "Take time for you." And what I got from Raphael for this card is take time. We've been in this retrograde season, and we've been in this chrysalis. We've been, forcibly with the external circumstances. We've had to kind of retreat and be more reclusive, and all of that. And he's wanting me to tell you that that's not what he means necessarily by this card. We've been doing that. We've been doing the retreating. We've been doing the cocoon like stage. And for many of us, we're still, kind of in that stage just because of the second wave of this COVID that's come about. But what Raphael's drawing our attention to and wants us to really take time to do is to think of things that really uplift us, like what really, just sparks you to life, what really just makes you feel good. Even if it's the seemingly smallest thing to whatever it is. He wants us to really shift our perspective. And again, this is so much about shifting our perspective. He really wants us to shift our perspective. The society and the world has kind of taught us that we're selfish if we are always, indulging in the things that we really and truly love to do. And the angels want us to know that is just not the case. That is not true. There is a beautiful world and just all around us, and so many pleasurable and enjoyable things. And that is for a reason. We came here to have this earth adventure and this earth experience for many reasons. But one of those reasons is to experience contrast, to experience, to have a sensory experience. And if you think about the way that the human body is created, and the way that we wouldn't even know who or what we are were it not for our external senses, that tells you a lot. And so the angels really want us to think about, take some time and think about what do I really like to do? If it was just me and I had, the time and the money and the resource or whatever, and what do I really enjoy to do? And then to do those things, and to not feel like that is selfish for wanting to do those things. We're each so very unique, and the things that set each of us on fire and just, cause us to have that spark within, and I'm getting the message now, even as I'm sharing this with you guys. This is the Lionsgate portal. It's in the sign of Leo. Leo's ruled by the sun. It's a very fiery energy. It's very bright and bold and warm and life-giving kind of energy. And so that's what he's drawing our attention to. What kind of things, whether it be listening to music or being out in nature or, writing or reading or creating something or whatever it is, to allow time, and to not just allow time, but to purposefully make time, to set aside time to indulge in those things, and to shift our perspective away from feeling like we have to apologize for that, and then also to really, get in tune with, get in tune with the inner child, to go inside and think. And I did this about 5 years ago. I can remember sitting in the bed with my journal and just thinking what things did I used to really love to do that I just like have not done in the longest time, or just haven't even thought about. And I sat and I made a list of things that I used to really enjoy doing, and some of it was just just really small little things, or seemingly small things. And I made a conscious decision and a conscious choice to start reintegrating those things, to start doing those things again. And some of them I found I had lost interest for. And then as I was doing that, I was discovering new things that I wanted to learn about and wanted to do and wanted to spend time working with. And so, and through that process, my husband and I learned a lot about each other, because he was doing this at the same time. He started to do this too. As I remember, he was asleep when I was making the list, and then when he woke up the next morning, I said, "Oh, guess what I've done?" And I told him, and I was so excited about it, because I had gotten to a really, 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 really depressed state, and so this was kind of helping me to come out of that. And so he started to do that, along with me, and we started to learn and discover things about each other. And so that's the other thing I would encourage you to do, is as you're discovering and tapping into and starting to do these things that you really enjoy doing, encourage the people around you to do that too. Give them the permission. Sometimes, sometimes we feel as human beings like it's not okay for us to take time or to spend time on ourselves. And I think sometimes all it takes is somebody that we value their opinion encouraging us to do that, and kind of giving us that permission and that first nudge to do it. And it can be really, really powerful and meaningful in somebody's life when you encourage them to focus on their interest, and you uplift their interests and talents, and just things that they enjoy doing, or you encourage and give them the time and space to do that. And then share about that, to talk about it. I think that's one of the most interesting things. It's one of the most attractive things to me, to see somebody talk about something that they enjoy, whether it be, I don't care what it is. I have had people tell me all kinds of things you can imagine that they enjoy, but to see their face light up when they talk about it, or to hear the lift in their voice, I love that. I really, really love that. That strikes a place in me that just warms my heart so big. So angels are really coming forward to encourage us to use this energy of the sun, use this Leo energy to really get in tune with what sets us on fire. What are we really passionate about? What are we, what makes our hearts warm? What just brings us to life? And then to do those things. And then the next card that we have is from Archangel Chamuel, and it says, "The past no longer defines you." And it's just a perfect card, which the angels always give the perfect cards. I don't know why I say that. But this card really, just hits the nail on the head of everything that the Lionsgate is about, is collapsing those old timelines that we don't live there anymore. We don't want to go. We can't go back there even if we wanted to. But that's not serving us. That's not doing us any good to hang on to those things, because we're not that person anymore. I have done, oh my goodness, I have made some decisions in my past out of hurt and just confusion, and being this very sad, lonely, confused, hurting, had kind of gotten stuck as this hurting little girl inside, and was trying to live a very adult life in the confusion and pain of that. And some of the decisions that I made as a result of that. And then, I've shared with you all before that I had gotten into a very deep depression at one point in my life, and nearly drank myself to death for a couple of years. And, but I'm not that person anymore. Thank God. The angels helped me, and I had the desire, and I had reached a point where I said, whatever it takes, I'm willing to, I just kind of threw myself on the crucible, I guess they say, and said, just burn it down, whatever it takes. And I want to build it back up right. And that's what we did. And the angels helped me to do that. And so it's almost like looking back on somebody else's life. And so I don't live there anymore. I just don't live there anymore. But it took a little bit to get to where I didn't have those little reminders, the little voices in my head saying, "Oh, but well, you did, who are you to do this because you used to do this, or you've messed up too bad over here." No. That is just not the way that things work. That's not the way that Spirit sees us. It's not the way the angels see us. You have the permission. You have the right in any moment, to say, this is a new moment, and I'm going to do differently in this moment. I didn't like the way that other turned out for me, so I'm going to do differently. And boom, you have quantum jumped, and just with your desire and your intent, you're now a completely different person with a completely new perspective. And so, as we see that play out on the world stage, on a much grander stage, and we're seeing these old timelines collapse because it just wasn't working and wasn't right, and it was causing a lot of people a lot of difficulty unnecessarily. And so we can do the same things. It's a macro. We can do the same things within ourselves. We can use this line. This Lionsgate portal is all about being able to reset. We get like a cosmic and a galactic reset button. And so the angels are coming in to say, don't you let your past define you. That is it. You can start right now and create something new. Create exactly who you want to be and live in that in every present moment. And you don't have to stay tethered down to the past. You don't have to. You can choose in any moment to release that. And sometimes those things are hard to release. They're challenging to release. And so the energy of this Lionsgate portal is really assisting us and is giving us that extra push and that extra support that we need to just let it go. And it's also a great time. It's a really powerful time if you have been struggling with anything surrounding forgiveness, either forgiveness of yourself or forgiveness of others. It's a really powerful time that is really supportive to the energy of forgiveness. So if you have been, struggling with that, ask the angels for help. Ask Source, God, whatever you want to call that energy, Creator. Ask for help, and it will be given to you. And this is a wonderful time for that. I've been able to do some huge amounts of releasing during the Lionsgate portal. And it was kind of like I early on, the first couple of these where I was awake and aware of what was happening that I experienced, I didn't even really know that, because I didn't know so much about it back then. And I didn't really know that the energy would support that in that way. And then I would kind of get to around like the middle of August and be like, wow, it's not bothering me anymore. I've let that go. I really have. Wow. And so then as I learned more about the portals and what they support and what they, will highlight and assist, what those energies will assist with. And I realized that all of that intent that I had been putting into releasing the past and creating the new was then just, phenomenally supported during those Lionsgate portal times. So we are really being encouraged to look at what we need to forgive. Forgiveness, I've learned, I used to hold on to a lot of stuff. Both, not forgiving myself and not being very forgiving of others. Because I feel big, I'm a Leo. I have a big Leo heart, and I'm very sensitive, and I feel my emotions so big. And so when my feelings hurt, my feelings get hurt real big. And I used to not know what to do with all that. And it was not doing. It's like a cancer that invades you. I think it was Will Smith that says, "Hate in your heart will consume you too." It's just, it's time for us to let it go. Whatever it is, it's time to just let it go and create new, because it's not, the things that we hang on to that we just think are so, they start to consume us, and we don't even realize how much of our energy that these things consume. And it's no wonder that we start to get depressed and we feel down and we feel sluggish, and we can't, because we're holding on to a lot of literally dense emotion. And so I just want to encourage you that if there are things that you need to forgive, both of yourself and of others, now is a great time. You have a lot of energy that will support you to do that. You have angels, a creator, ascended masters. You have an entire universe conspiring together for your good. And that will help you to see things from a new perspective. That will help you to release those old patterns and those old ways of doing things, and create new, and to see yourself through a new light, to where you're not being held down by your own past. And so that's really, really powerful energy to work with for that purpose. And then the last card, and I just love this card. It's a beautiful card. And it's Archangel Hanael, and it says, "Celebrate the amazing spirit of you." And so that, again, is perfect for this Lionsgate portal, because, that Leo energy is kind of spotlight kind of energy. It's kind of like the ta-da kind of energy, I like to think of it. And every single human being has something to ta-da about. It is something that is worthy of that. Just the miracle of you is worthy of that. You are literally the creator. You are literally God walking around in human form. There are no mistakes in that. I'm here to tell you, I used to think that I was some kind of, like maybe God fell asleep at the wheel one day, or that maybe I had messed it up so bad. I don't guess I ever thought that God had made a mistake. I felt like I had made the mistakes that were so bad that then I had turned myself into something. Well, that's just not true. You are divine. You are magnificent. Every single human being on the planet is worthy of being celebrated. Your uniqueness, all your quirks, all your interests, all your talents, no matter what you think that you have done, or any mistake that you think that you have made, or where you are in your life right now. If there is one thing I can promise you, you are an expression of the divine, and you are perfect and not lacking in any way. There are no divine mistakes. And you are beautiful. You are unique. You are absolutely perfect and brilliant and magnificent, just exactly as you are. And there is so much energy right now to support us being able to see ourselves through that light and to create a new way forward based on that perspective. Because I'll tell you something, I know this from firsthand experience. You will create very differently from that viewpoint. You will create very differently seeing yourself through the eyes of divinity. You will create beauty around you when you see yourself as beautiful. You will create good things around you when you see yourself as good. And so that's what the angels really, that's how they're finishing up this reading, is to draw our focus and our attention to just the absolute magnificence that we are. And they're so excited to see all that we create moving forward, because there's no playbook for this. We are creating brand new. And there's a whole, we don't realize sometimes, there's a whole universe like watching, like at the edge of their seat, just waiting to see what we create. Because the entire universe is there to support us and knows what a fascinating creation the human being is, and knows what a rare and incredible opportunity that it is to be on earth at this time doing what we're doing and experiencing this. So celebrate each other, celebrate yourself, celebrate each other. Find where you can speak life into somebody. There's nothing like the look on somebody's face that you can tell maybe hasn't heard anything good about themselves in a while, or if ever. And you find something, and I'm not saying be fake and tell, be not authentic, but you can find the light in anybody, because everybody has it. You just have to look through the right lens. And there's nothing like the look on the energy that comes over somebody's whole being when you speak life into them, and you say something nice to them to encourage them about something about themselves. And do that for yourselves too. Write it down. There is power in your handwriting. I'm learning more and more about that, about the sacredness of each person's unique handwriting and the power in writing things down. Make a list of things that you enjoy, things you enjoy about yourself, nice things that you would say to yourself. And I guarantee you that even if you can just come up with one or two things, those one or two things, if you'll come back to it and come back to it and come back to it like once a day, they will attract more good things and draw more good things into your attention. And before you know it, you'll have a whole big long list of things about yourself, and you'll realize, oh, hey, I'm not bad after all. I'm pretty good. And then you'll move from there to a place of, I am downright spectacular. And I'm not in an arrogant way, there is a humbleness to the feeling, like it's almost like you're in awe of yourself. You become an observer of yourself, and you become in awe of the creation that you are. And you become in awe of the handiwork of God. And I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind. And I can't wait for you to experience it. So that's what we have for the Lionsgate portal. Drink plenty of water. Ground yourself. Go out in nature. Put your feet on the grass. Put the sunshine on your head. Or let the sunshine hit your head, I should say. You can't put the sunshine on your head. And connect with me. find me on Instagram, Christy Michelle Riggs, Facebook, Christy Michelle Riggs, the website, ChristyMichelleRiggs.com. I always tell you guys I've made it easy for you and easy for me too. It's very simple. You can also visit the Angel Bee website, angel-bee.com. You can find me on Instagram at christy.angelbee or on Facebook at angelbee1111. If you want a card reading, I have several different types of card readings that I do. A healing session, I do distance healing or via video chat, cord cutting sessions, intuitive coaching and counseling sessions. There's lots of good stuff. Go check it out. And if you just have a question or a comment or anything like that, please connect with me. I love it. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And we will be back together very soon. Like I said, we've got the messages for August to talk about, and then the angel awareness for the first week of August. And then we've got the full moon in Aquarius on August the 3rd. So be good to yourselves. Say nice things to yourselves, and then say nice things and be good to each other. Okay? I love all of you. Sending you lots of love and light and just good energy. This portal is really supportive of any way that we can be good to ourselves and others. So I really encourage you to do that. Thank you so much for being here, and we will talk again soon. I want to thank each of you for being here with me today. I hope you have a very wonderful Lionsgate portal. Let me know what things you receive, what things you're able to let go of, what your experiences are. Send me messages, leave me comments, all that good stuff. I want to connect with each and every one of you. And I am sending each of you so much love and so much encouragement and so much light and upliftment today and every day, and especially through this Lionsgate portal.